Welcome back, everybody. Talon versus Fnatic is about to begin. Very happy for you to join us here on the APAC North broadcast. I'm Melissa Medic, your host. With me are Anne and Fresh. How you guys doing? We already qualified 2 teams. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In it?
In it.
We're just going full English, are we?
I don't know how to do that.
No, you've still got
He
a couple
doesn't.
of weeks yet.
Yeah,
Still got a
learn.
couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'll learn.
By the last Playday, we expect you to have a full English accent.
Yep, so true.
Okay. Yeah, I can try.
I'm sure you'll
Yeah,
nail it.
I'll
No worries.
practice.
No worries. I'd love to be, honestly, I can already hear it. Someone just yelling from the other side of the hallways trying to pull an English accent back in the hotel. Anyways, let's have a chat about Fnatic and Talon. First up, Talon on the list, a team that we had a lot of hopes and dreams tied to them, and they were beat down by Reject, but because they took Reject to overtime, they took 1 point away from them, etc., etc. You know how the story goes. What do you feel about this team, man?
Both teams play very execute-based and objective-based Siege. In this team in total, there's 15 plans for both these teams. And we found 2 of these players in the top 5 spots when it comes to plans as well. We have Hetty and Soldier. They're both getting a lot of themselves. If you look at the front line of this team, I think you'll have to keep your eyes out a little bit more for Demic. He's the major player to watch on this team. He'll walk into the side, find kills for himself. And this definitely happened a lot against Spear on Cafe on their second Playday. This is why he's currently 3rd on the leaderboard for all APAC North players when it comes to entry.
I wonder if they've realised that kind of this is their best 5, because Misa and Marble have been in and out, and they've changed, you know, even in terms of this stage, you know, playing with different people. And I like what Talon tried to do. I like that, like you say, they play this objective-based Siege. I like that, you know, they've generally got some very good players. I don't like that they keep having these stages where they change out 2 players, Now, we know that the major isn't of concern anymore. We know that essentially this is playing for league position.
Yeah.
Is what we're playing for. So if you start thinking a little bit more long term, I would hope that come next year we see the same 5 back raring to go again, because they can put in a sustained challenge.
And now with how Fav have been performing, honestly, I'm very excited for next year, and we're not there yet. Let's just put it out there. But Fnatic on the other side have been up on the rise, Jack. I mean, even the last game, look at Mag and what he's been able to do over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, they have. They really have. And I think a bit of a disappointing loss, to be honest, to Sandbox coming in last week. I think Fnatic, we like what they've been trying to do. I think everyone feels like they've been a part of their journey for the last 2 years, and the heartache that comes with, I guess, if you was a Fnatic supporter watching the last 2 years, it looks like they're finally in a good place, and that's really nice to see. You know, they're doing well in Japan League. They've done well inside of APAC North. Obviously, just missed the mark with those losses to DK and Sandbox. They, you know, whatever happens again today won't make the major, but they've given it a real good go, which is something we can't say of Fnatic's of probably the past year.
I personally really love talking about support players as the player on the team that doesn't always get the brightest light shine on them because of their performance. But if we talk about planters on this team as well, we have to shine a light on Mag, the one with the most plans this stage. But if you think about their attacks, this is a team that you can easily read into, specifically if you look at their 2 theme park games. They won against Spear on Playday 4 by getting a lot of entries on attack or on defense, and they had really good post-plan situations, specifically, where they played very passive. But then on the next Playday, when they played Theme Park against another team, they were up 4-1 on defense, and then they lost all the rounds after, simply because a team can learn how to play into these attacks that Fnatic keeps on bringing out.
It's more advanced problems, though. You know, previously they couldn't attack. Now it's about how dynamic they can be on the attacks. So at least they're shifting the problems in a better light.
It's happening, right? And we should just be very excited about it. But our map for this series then will be another theme park. Very much doubt it. And okay, close enough. Clubhouse banned out by Talon, and we'll go to Cafe Dostoyevsky. It is Talon's pick. As you see, they start off on attack. Defense start for Fnatic. And your thoughts?
Well, both teams have 1 win on this map. Talon played at 7-3 versus Spear and Fnatic 7-4 versus Reject. Talon seems to ban this map a lot in recent history, but for Fnatic, it usually gets banned against them rather than that they ban it themselves. I would say Talon has got a really good attacking and defensive win rate on this map, both 70%. So that is really something if you're struggling with your attacks to go into on a map like Cafe.
Cafe has always been known as a Fnatic map. I think, you know, especially in recent past as well. They went up, like you said, they went up against Reject there in stage 3. And I think what was impressive was that was the game where we turned around and went, Fnatic have fixed their attacking issues.
Yep.
So, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing, I think Fnatic have probably won the ban phase. I'm looking forward to see how they go on it.
All right, friends, thank you very much. And Fresh, that's Talon versus Fnatic. We toss it back to our casters. Happening. Enjoy.
Hi, welcome back. I was quickly stashing my bottle away, I'm sorry. But yes, we're headed into the next game, the last game of Playday 6 as well. And as mentioned before, we do have 2 teams confirmed for the major now. So all there's really left to play for is, well, some SI points. But
Pride.
Pride. There's all that's left to play for is Pride and Honor.
Pride and Honor. And SI points.
Which
Neither
I
of
was
these
going to
two
say,
teams-
none
yeah.
of these 2 teams will care about.
So these 2 teams
Yeah.
can't.
Yes.
They have nothing to play for. But Pride.
Pride and
And
Honor.
Honor. Yeah, at this point.
Friendship.
And friend. What?
I don't know, I'm just adding in random words.
Just random words?
Yeah.
Okay. Any others? Playing for cool hats. Whoever wins this game gets a new cool hat. Milos will buy it for them.
Are they just going to be able to send a cool hat over and then
Milos will send over a cool hat. Only one.
send over a cool hat?
All of the team and the support staff have to share the cool hat.
You have to take turns
You have
next
to take turns every day of the week. A different one of you gets to wear the cool hat.
Yep. They need to send pictures on socials.
Nook band. Nomad
Surprise.
band. Quel surprise. Talon vs Fnatic. Yeah, okay. Moral of the story, if you missed the rest of the Playday today, APAC North, we have our 2 teams heading to the major. There is still some teams in the league that are playing for the 3rd position, the position of getting some SI points. But that is not these 2 at this point. That is...
We said
Milos is talking to us. He loves doing this
Yes.
when we cast. He loves-
whoever wins this game will be sent a hat by you.
Yeah, you gotta get them a cool hat.
You have to get them a cool hat.
They have to play for something, you know?
We need to find a reason for this game to be played. You can make it a top
You
hat,
can
that's
make it a top
fine.
hat. It can be any hat that you want.
Okay, whoever wins gets a top hat.
That Milos is gonna get you.
Yep.
Sorry. I almost threw my notebook off the side of the table.
You can, Stefan, don't worry.
Our observer just asked for a hat. We'll get him the hat
Yeah.
that he wanted.
Special hat.
Hi, welcome to Rainbow Six Siege, Talon versus Fnatic. And yeah, this is... I mean, it's just going to be a teething game at this point. I think coming into this, neither of them expected to be able to make the major. I think they started with a very slim chance, Fnatic, but things instantly went away from them. Talon, theirs, unfortunately, from what was a strong start to the season, drifted away. So it was always going to be a sort of rough and tumble, fists up showdown between these 2 teams. Cafe I quite like as a map for that, because I still always appreciate that there's growth technically on any map, but Cafe always feels like there's untapped potential for me.
It is, and it's probably because it's such a big map where we see a lot of the same holds coming through, and every now and then you see this small alteration to the hold, and you're like, ooh, that is an interesting way to look at this map, and you hope teams build on that and they expand on it. Doesn't always happen, but there's definitely new things that are left to be seen for this map. And who knows, again, we said it before, there's nothing really to play for here but Pride, Honor, Friendship, and the top hat. And that means that you can try out some new strategies, possibly.
Alright, well, new strategies not inbound just yet. The bans, I mean, the castle is in some ways a bit more particular, but on this map it makes sense, especially on attacking this sort of top floor. You're usually looking at an extension over onto Scar side, the way the mirrors are locked in as well. The Twitch drone might be able to make work of them if it can sort of drift its way around. They've got the one around Lumber. They have one still in pocket as well. I'm not sure what Ramu intends to do with that other one, whether they want to put it onto the opposite side, where you'll usually sometimes see it looking out across the bar itself, or not. There's a Twitch drone that wants to try and... Nope, not there.
Just wanted to quickly give some fresh air before back in the pocket.
Yeah, it's like a Pokemon. You gotta treat him nice.
Yeah, gotta treat them well, so they will be more inclined of hitting the taser shots on the utility you want them to shoot out.
Imagine this game, but you could like send out little animals. I'm not gonna little copyright animals at each other. I would play that game. There's an event for you. have the Twitch drone say Twitch drone when you throw it out. Okay, the pressure starts to come around. We're losing it. The pressure starts to come across here. The bow of the site and the bar itself. They've got themselves some pressure onto Cigar and over the new back, and there it is. There's that second pocket one I talked about before, and this is usually where it's played. It just keeps an overwatch over this approach, this plant attempt. That drone isn't going to get any close. That grenade is going to do some damage to the far side, but unless you can get behind that shield mirror window, or in front of it with some Kairos that I think has just gone a little bit too low, but it's mute jammed, yeah. It's not quite going to get the catch. Look at where Lily's rotated to, though, underneath the drop itself in pillars.
Grenade actually took care of a bulletproof, but that's not going to be your worry if there's a mirror window behind it. So, yeah, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done, and I believe that the Twitch drones have been taken out. So, either some verticality will work, or just muscle your way through, which seems to be the solution they're going for, as Canis just jumps in, hopes to go for it. A second attempt made by the Hibana will come out successful.
Yeah, Hibana somehow winning that out there. They're now tucked in a position. There's an ADS in front of them and some cover coming across the side of Lumber. They're looking for the other loose thread players. The pre-fires are hitting the angle, but there's the player underneath that doesn't quite get the lockdown inside Library. Wrong angle, and Hetty's somehow able to win another fight that really shouldn't be theirs. That C4 gets caught on just a little bit of that soft left standing. A great take, a great response, and now a 2 versus 1. They're trying to find a way through. They know roughly where one of the players is. They know exactly where the other one is, but they can't quite find the angle of the fight itself. They're going to have to swing wider and wider. Goes a bit too high, though. And the first round is theirs.
Good first round by Talon. Was a bit worried when the mirror windows are out. They're unable to deal with them, and their decision is
rotate around
jump down the skylight, just run through it.
Didn't even punch it out. Just
no, don't even punch it. Just go for the gunfight, because you know the mirror is playing close on it at that point. If you win it, you can even use that mirror window to your advantage if a retake would be to occur. And they won it out. They lost one, they gained one. Managed to get that plan down. So first attacking round for Talon on a side that is usually quite difficult to keep hold of. Yes, Sprabuni notified us of this graphic before.
Sprabuni, great graphic.
Thank you for the graphic.
Sprabuni, thank you for this graphic. This is a man who's paid for the day, and he makes sure he works.
He makes sure he gets every single potential graphic out there. For those of you that did not know, Talon cannot qualify. Fnatic
cannot qualify.
Also cannot qualify.
Thanks, Sprabuni.
Big help. No, normally really appreciate it.
No, we do really
still do, because it gives us a bit of a laugh.
Funny. I mean, he was told to make graphic, he made the graphic.
Yeah.
Can't fault him. That's just that sort of, you know.
Clarity is important as well.
That's what you get when you go towards like a Liquipedia admin for a job. They'll do the job.
Just what I asked. Next round will be taking place into the ground floor, or first floor, depending on how you count, depending on where you live. It's going to be a quick entry of the Twitch drone, but quickly taken out as well. Took out 2 pieces of utility. One is default, one was a pocket of flames that have combusted. And well, it's better to blow that up now than when you actually try to push yourself through that bakery, because it's going to take quite a little bit of damage if you pop it in that moment in time. Kennels is rotated around towards the small bakery or the wedding side of things. Need to find an alternate angle onto the cupcake bar. Maybe find a way in for one of his other drones, or maybe even himself. Just the rest of Talon clearing out that top floor.
Yeah, they're steady across the top of it. They're, you know, doing what is a fairly sort of straightforward clear. I'd say the take was very aggressive on the previous one, but all of the steps before were pretty standard, pretty default towards the approach. Direct through onto the Christmas doorway, and Lily direct through onto Misa's head. The first fight is theirs, tucked up here. There's Canos on the window that's just wanting to swing his way into the fight at this point, but Lily is sort of still paying the angle, pays for it, actually trades it out. Hetty goes down as well. Chibisu finds Demic, Canos on the door, and still in Fnatic's favor, but Talon able to get a couple of kills out of it.
I was going to say, some Mac run towards the bakery door was hurt by Canis, actually dropped down to pick up that kill. And they found themselves in a 2v3 situation. Not very much advantage to Talon. They still need to find themselves a kill to get back into it. I believe the diffuser is down on the top floor as well, so this will be a kill, a slaughter game, where these two just need to frag out the last remaining operators. Actually, no, Soldiers decided to go for the rotate. It's a long hop over. We'll be eventually getting it, but it's a lot of time wasted, and instantly back on that drone to try and get some extra information out.
It's not an easy site to hit when you have less bodies. There's a lot of angles, a lot of routes through, and even the strong arm take, if you're thinking about maybe going onto the back end, if you don't have any work done onto the hatch or onto the back wall of, you know, the sort of garage run outside, then you can't really force your single route through. And then you've got to maybe take yourself over towards, you know, Bakery. But if you're taking Bakery, you got to have red stairs. And the list just sort of goes on when you're attacking this site. And when you know you're one body down, they can always outman you. They can always have one extra place covered. It makes it also tricky to try and pull apart at least a single engagement. Here they're tucked in. They're going to go for just a sneaky little plant behind some of the safety of the solid work in front of them, just popping off the angles that they can, hoping a grenade gets a long on, but you're looking at 14 seconds. Oh, there's a great take. The grenade over the top. The second one goes a little bit too far. They still got to get the kit in. The rotate comes around on the side. The C4 over the top. Will it get the catch? It will. The kit is cold at this point in the round. It's Fnatic's.
Actually managed to bring it back to a 1v1 in the end there, but Fnatic is able to hold off on it. As the ground floor is going to be theirs. Brings it back to a 1-1. Just trading some rounds for now at the start. They'll continue their rotation, not heading back up to the top floor first. The reading room and fireplace seeming to be picked. Getting the mirror to come out potentially will be for that top floor hold, something you often see. The extension towards the freezer into piano, just to make sure that it's going to be very difficult for them to take that top under control. And that is, of course, due to the fact that, well, there is a sledge on the board for Damic on Talon. As soon as he does get the cocktail balcony under control, he will start hammering down on the site. Suddenly there's no safe place to play in anymore. And that is why you extend upwards. Like you see from this mirror window, that will all the way be extended onto opening up the piano wall, but just in a way where you can contest, not in a way where a rotation is possible, because you do not want to give them free movement on the attack.
It sort of shows the importance of that entry statistic. The fact that it came down to the 1 versus 1 in that sort of situation, back from the trade kill on the very top floor, if that had been a slightly different swing round, if that had been a sort of flat trade, then it would have been more of a sort of even-handed approach to the bottom. It might have been an eventual 3 versus 3, if not a slightly different story hitting the basement. The same sort of swing round on the opposite when we saw the entry come flooding towards the back end of the bar side. At this point, I think that is going to be a number that belies the fate of a lot of these rounds.
For a second there, I was afraid it was going to be a bit of a quick push into the engine room, but have pulled off on that. Decided to actually go to the roof instead. Open up these hatches with Sledge, of course. There's always a bit of caution. You never know if someone is down there with a C4. The case now as the drones come out, trying to get some information to top floor, and they need to clear out first. But a mirror window, as mentioned before, is going to be the problem they need to deal with. Luckily, they do have cannons on that Twitch. If a drone manages to sneak all the way through, you might be able to hit that canister, at least make it a bit more difficult for the player to play behind it. You see how heavily they've stacked up there. Also, 3 ADSs near the wide stairs. They're really making sure they can hold on to that top floor.
Well, a quick rolling Twitch drone is trying to find its way safely around the mute jammer that it got a little bit too close to, and there's another reveal tucked around the corners. Oh, there's
EMP dart.
Yeah, caught out by the EMP dart and picked up by a player. The swing round, almost a little bit of magic there, but just 1/2 step too shy of that mirror window.
That will stay on for now. Continuing this to be hard to deal with. I believe they've just taken out one, though. Was that from below? From the back windows, possibly. C4 gets tossed out, finds Canna somehow. It's going to be an entry for Fnatic again.
Well, that's it. They flooded their way through. They're trying to hold on to the stair set here, Fnatic. They're swinging back in. They just see the side and a scrape. Hop over the top before the flood comes over from the side of the white door. 90 is being put under immense pressure as well, Fnatic. They've been on the back foot. Once again, I talked about the importance of that entry. And, oh, is he able to get one more before he's exited from the round? The shotgun is tricky to work at that round. Saramu came up to support, and then they put themselves back down. They got the kill. More importantly, they got the escape here. It was another very quick take. Talon, they sort of set themselves up, got one mirror, and then the second later, 5 of them were barreling down on the top floor itself. They know how to move swiftly behind their own action. Now they just need 2 more actions to work into their favor. 30 seconds, eyes onto the side and vertical, but 2 more still ahead of them.
30 seconds counting down. X-Scar is being used now to create some verticalities. Not going to be ideal, but it's all they can really work with in this moment in time. Hoping to open up onto the wall as well, but a Mew Jammer will stop that from occurring. That leaves with 15 seconds left, and them just having to muscle through to try and make this plant happening. A lot of flashbangs being tossed out to hope to go for a proper blind. They've done that as well. Soldier needs to come in from the back, but he gets taken out. Hetty pushes in as well at the same time, finds a kill. It's a one-on-one, and a shotgun does not reign supreme this time. Hetty finds that final kill, and Talon, hold on.
I mean, there it was. Talon just getting the swing round. You could see that they were sort of eyeing up the idea of a plant there. They had the vertical. They were just going to go for a little close plant on the library door on the swing from the Christmas side. It made sense, but then suddenly they had to call one of the players in a position. We can get a fight on around the hatch itself. Let's take that instead. It sort of swings into that engagement. Instead of going for the plant, they just keep driving. They just keep fighting their way through the site itself. And I think that took Fnatic a little bit by surprise, who also expected just a chance to try and deny a plant with a long-range C4 the same way they did on the round before that ended out on a timeout. Talon 2 now. Can they make it 3 here as we head back to the top?
It's definitely a good start on Cafe for Talon. As they'd love to lock this off with 3 or 4 rounds on the board. Again, we see these same mirror windows popping up, but this time it is for a different side. This time it is for that top floor. The site Talon managed to take out the first time.
10 seconds to go.
And there just needs to be a way to deal with these mirror windows. And if you look at it, well, the floor right below it is going to be hard. It's concrete, so you cannot fire through. Might be able to get a lucky angle out from the window. I'm not quite sure, actually. But otherwise, it's going to be a Twitch drone that will have to deal with it, or some Excaros. But if you look at the current setup, it is dug in so deep into the freezer as well that the player who's playing in the little bathroom area to the side of it can just quickly swing out, fire onto the Excaros that have been placed onto that wall, and it is going to be safe again. So it is very difficult to get rid of that mirror window. Basically, only a Twitch drone sneaking through would suffice.
Now with some focus played once again towards this, the start of a default breach. They're doing away with the risk there of the C4. They sort of said, well, there's a position playing this, or there's a player playing this position, even, around Cigar. The hatches are dangerous. It's somebody with a C4. It's common enough that even pro players at this tier pay a lot of caution to it. That's how sort of predictable that move becomes, but also how powerful it can still be.
Misa checking out the bottom floor, sees some red footsteps there. Well, the fact that the hatch might have been opened up as he's coming around the corner, doesn't spot out the head in time. Chibusu with the first on the board. Misa almost managed to make the flick stick, though. He was right on top of the head, but unable to pull the trigger in time.
There was a second there where Soldier wanted to step in, but it's Canos. It finds the tail end of them. They were trying to find their way up. You assume that was just on the window there, on the white stairs, all the way up to the top, and they've been able to pull themselves back round and at least get revenge for that kill. That player taken off the board. Some appearance onto the eastern side. The front is being locked in. They're going to try and, I guess, just pepper some damage across. They, you know, it's sometimes a bit of an awkward take. It depends on the hole being put in front of you. You can see they've still got some presence around white stairs. They're waiting to maybe go for a bit of an appearance here. Soldier tucked underneath, has the grenades in pocket, can even try and play this directly under if he wants to get away from the idea. And there it is, the pull, the ping, the lineup, and the wrong side.
A little bit of damage done. Choppy will find Damek. There's a sledge now off the board who rotated down into the garage earlier on. So that is that player that was around the white stairs that now has been able to pick up another kill. Another ping coming through as Canos finds Choppy. Keeps on trading out. That's the injury coming through from the grenade as well. Massive. He'll coming back though. Lily with the stim. And that's full HP instantly again.
Oh, Dark, there it is. There's a performance, and there's almost a C4 take on the player onto the window. 20 seconds. They're going to try and make a move here. Lily's still holding onto the stair set themselves. Going to just give them that little bit extra health for the fight that comes through, and it comes out for them. Matt gets one as Hetty drops, and Ramu gets the last 3 apiece. 3 different fights. All 3 Fnatic's favor for a second round.
I was going to say, it was a very good round so far going for Talon. They managed to trade out the 2 entries that they've lost. Then the grenade injury, that should have been round defining. However, Doc, with the stim pistols who have been buffed, heal you for 200 HP now compared to the 40 it did before. It might be like, wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
As a nerf, the overheal is only going to be 20 now instead of 40.
That's the balance. Is the Doctor is in, but no more
Massive overheal.
no more juicing.
No more big juice coming up.
No more big strength power needles.
But you can instantly pull someone up to a full HP. And let's just say it's a 3 armor, right? So it's like one of the operators with a lot of HP. You just wasted like a grenade or half your magazine to get the kill, or the injure. He gets healed back up and instantly he's back into the fight. You need to do that all over again. So Hatchel's getting way more important in those kind of gunfights. Especially, let's say you're up against a gun with little ammunition in the magazine, you know?
Are you saying you want the LMG meta?
No. It's not what I'm saying at all. I retract my
I'm
statement.
just putting words in your mouth.
No.
2 apiece, and it's a scrappy back and forth. And, you know, it's sort of hard to gauge where things are happening, but time is still, for me, being a bit of a factor here. Talon is sort of doing a lot of the preparatory work. They're cycling themselves around the map. They're looking for all the fights that they can sort of take, and then trying to often take the site in the final 20 seconds. They'll do bits like this, or an early good drive against Choppy, who's just kind of holding on, hoping that he gets to have this as a bit of a single fight. There's pressure coming from the walk-in. There's Lily with a bit of a stretch here, just holding on to brown stairs. Again, it's this piecing together of things by Talon.
Creating a bit of a bigger opening into the freezer, so they have the opportunity to just push through as soon as they clear out the player in VIP. As the drones are coming in from the window, the player on brown stairs might have just been missed. No, definitely has been spotted now. Should be aware of that. And that also tells them they cannot just rush in after the VIP player.
Wow, seems like they disagree with what you said, and it's the smoke canister that keeps them going. The E1D is going to give them a little bit more. They're holding on to brown stairs. The swing comes against Choppy. He fires a bit premature, and it's a skeleton key that opens up the door of success. It's one of the quickest sort of takes we've seen this close to the site itself. The wall as well, entirely soft. If they wanted to have a bit of a bleed in, there's a risk. They've got to make sure it's droned out, and they have an awareness here, and well, they're going to send the Rotero, I think, to give themselves maybe a little bit more of a stretch of a space, or just take care of any utility on the back end. But brown stairs, well, no more.
Is there someone above? No, there's no one above. They can just take this site now. Everybody is off or just closely around the site. And as they manage to get more kills down, Hedy will find Ramu. This is an opportunity to go for a plant. You need to dig yourself in deep. They do that exactly. Soldier goes down for the plant soon. 45 seconds on the clock. Lily's unable to actually go for a stoppage here. Mag takes out one, but, well, the timer is already ticking down.
I think they expected it to go towards the default side rather than the hopper over onto Sync. It's turned into a place where they just did not expect the plant to be tucked into that close corners. If Fnatic didn't have vertical, it's something Talon's taken. They lose the first fight around the bottom of the stair set, but you can hear the break above. Mag with one more is third for the round, and at this point, Talon tucks tail and pulls themselves a bit further back. The pre-fire on the tight angle. They've well done exactly this. As I said, they've got themselves the vertical. They've got themselves a bit of a stretch. They're hoping for the bait in the fight, but Demic's not going to give it to them. Talon take their third, and back and forth we go with rounds.
Mac tried to find a bit of a safe spot there. Thought, like, maybe if I hop up, the elevated angle is going to be throwing them off if they hear the diffuser, not being certain if I'm on it or not. But yeah, as you mentioned, we keep on trading. Unless Talon find their third. I said it before, 3 or 4 is what they'll be looking for, I guess, to find themselves in a good position to head into the second half.
Attackers need to locate
For the top hat.
bombs.
As we're back into reading. This site somehow muscled out the last time we were here by Talon. Overall, Fnatic was in good control. There's nothing we can say about that, but they just had to go for a push on Talon. They threw everything they had in it, swung every corner they could, and came out successful. That is something you need to make sure does not happen again if you're Fnatic. And yes, you're not playing for a major. You're not playing for 6 Invitational in this case.
You're playing for a cool hat.
You're playing for that cool hat. Must be. Well, they don't know at this point. We haven't.
They don't know. No, they don't watch the stream.
So that's just going to be a surprise they find out when they get into the interview. And Milos announces they've won a hat.
That's when the confetti graphic comes
That's when the
down.
confetti graphic comes down. Not when you
Do
qualify for the major.
Do you have a cool hat graphic? Production, if you can. You have
Please.
until the end of this game. If you can Milos, cover your ears. Milos, cover your ears. I want this to be a surprise. Okay, let's cover his ears. Production, if you can somehow get a hat and put it onto Milos's head
Oh, yeah,
when it cuts to the one camera.
and then drag it along with him.
That might be too much work, but the single camera, the single shot of Milos, if you can somehow Photoshop a hat onto him, That would be amazing.
That would be
okay.
amazing. And then confetti as well.
Someone else in the green room, you can tell Milos to stop covering his ears. No. Okay. We're back in. 3-2. Can they make it an even half? I mean, it has been just traded rounds. Traded. It's been a very hefty back and forth as well. It usually hasn't really been one side entirely having a lot of control. That was one of the most even-handed ones in terms of Talon getting the kit down with a lot of players still standing and then getting themselves into the 4 versus 1. It would have been an ace clutch situation for Mang to get it back, but he did bring it back to a 2 versus 1 before he was ultimately removed from the board here. Quick across the top once again. They're looking for the fight. They're spraying through. They get one. There's the second. Demic with the double. And then a bit of a revenge. 2 players down.
Where's the Finker now to pick you up? No longer on the board, so needs to be picked up manually by any of these players, but there's a giant hole into the flooring now, which means it is going to be quite obvious if you run over. Need to be careful. Mag actually rotating over. He's heard something. He's ready for it. Hattie still hasn't been picked up. Now he has. And Mag, he's just ready to send some shells their way, but he gets taken out from the back, from above. That leaves it only to 2 players left on Fnatic now.
I think that might have been the C4 angle as well. It sort of just cost him there on the top after
I think.
how demanding it could have been. Oh, was it? It was
The flooring next to the hatch, yes.
either way, one that he wasn't quite aware of. And now a 4. So 40 seconds, the 5 versus 2, and top would be great production, and top is the take here, 5-1. Ramu, the only one left, gets a scrape and a down onto a single player, just going to smoke them out as the last as a player around Zulu. Ooh, Ramu, great take, but my friend, it's a post-plant situation and a 3 versus nobody. 2 rounds in a row here, the first time we've had that, and it's just before the turn of the half for a 4-2 half for Talon.
Fnatic, these last 2 rounds seemed really disjointed, Emmy. When we were in the ground floor, the entire hold came down to VIP and the brown stairs falling, and then no one decided to retake the side itself. This time it was they just ran through. They found themselves inside, and there was no one there to stop them when they took that top floor. Talon just deciding that, you know, it is time to just run in, like, be unpredictable. This right here, they drop in, like, through the skylight with multiple people. They have no clue. They find 2 kills. And yes, the C4 pops off. Yes, the C4 does get the double injure. But after that, they just take the full side under control. There's nothing they could have done. Either way, 4-2. Talon leading onto the defense now. They need to find 2 rounds for a point, 3 more for a full-on victory. That is what they'll be aiming towards.
All right, Fnatic, work is ahead of you. Work's got out, and let's see if you can try and break against what Talon's put together. I think Talon's takes have been pretty sharp so far. You can see Fnatic's had these moments of biting back. The gun of Choppy is missing a little bit. Not to put too much pressure on him, but we have seen him have massive performances recently and get into big engagements. So you sort of hope, you know, if you're wanting to see a little bit more of Fnatic here, to have him reminisce of some of his recent games and really put a bit of a gun game down here. Talon, they've got a big extension. The Azami is sort of fully kitted inside. I'm not sure what that impact opened up, if it did the hatch in towards Train to give that Azami a route out or not. Either way, the Twitch drone is going to fall its way through, and ooh, that was clever.
The second one as well, so double jump to find out both the mute gemmers. Give them a bit of an opening. I believe Ken has actually missed out a shot there. Spotting it out, making sure that Narcy Rotero is headed that way. Continuing on with the rest of the Twitch drones, trying to take out some extra utility here and there. Oh, that's aggressive underneath the hatch.
That's it. They're sort of holding on and hoping that this happens. A steady drop through. Misa's gonna trust that they go unchecked. There's the break on X-Kairos, I believe, and there's Lily taking out Canos. They're able to put the pressure on. They're trying to fight their way back round onto the swing at 90. Thought the hatch was open for them to have a route out. It was not, so they had nothing that they could escape on. Misa wants to try and play maybe with a bit of a route outside, is sort of hoping something else happens, and there's the something. Choppy gets caught out by Soldier, and that was around the 90 last time we saw it. Misa, they're still waiting for it, but Lily is also waiting for it, and at that point, the sort of premonition of what's going to happen pulls them back and away from it.
I wonder if there's still a cam up that they were waiting for him to run out. He was just hoping to get some noise. None of it is being given. So I believe that is a Rotero card off by a mute gemmer, so it's not going to be popping anytime soon. A minute and 10 left on the clock. They need to start moving and still holding off to the door. But Misa, he's debating going for a run out. He went for it back inside as well as they're all going down now. They know that they need to get inside Piano. Look at that 3 players of Fnatic ready to reply to him.
They were stuck there for a while, though, and that sort of presence is one that wastes a lot of time. They were all paying attention to it. They weren't putting pressure. We just saw a grenade huck towards 90, so you assume the shield is still standing, because that could caught out by an ADS as well. Fnatic are stuck a little bit right now. They've got to try and find a route through. They're able to take care of that, the bulletproof and more of the collection of the ADSs. They're now in a trickier position here on the back end, but they've still got to try and drive and fight their way across this. The hold that they have in the middle, the core of the site and the floor is all still in the favor of Talon. They've got it a bit locked down. The smoke canister is going to try and force a little bit of movement. Same with Misa in the hop out onto the white stairs window. Gets the player that was just holding on. They're going to get back in via the door potentially. And Chibisu in the meantime, driven their way all the way through onto the bar, close to the wall, but not for very long. The duck of the sledge swinging and doesn't know who to shoot at. Talon, they get their 3rd round in a row.
There was pure panic coming out from the sledge as soon as like the shot came down from the freezer and from the cocktail balcony at the same time. It's like, I need to shoot 2 people at the same time. It's impossible. And he loses it out, and Talon, they win round 5, well, round 7, which is their 5th. That pushes us on towards an opportunity now for them to reach a match point situation, to put themselves onto 6.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
And mind you, this does not change anything for Fnatic. They would stay on 5th if they lose this. They've had enough of a gap downwards to keep themselves in their place. Unfortunately, I believe there is no SI points being given out anymore for these positions. Of course, due to the fact that they are dividing them with APAC South. And with that, Fnatic currently gaining none. But again, Fnatic would not be able to make it to a side based on points either way. Both these teams need to go through an open qualifier if they want to reach it.
5 seconds left.
The only team that could, theoretically, is down on Kia.
Wow, if
But I
Fab
believe
let
it's
them.
like a 4 or 5% chance they make it through points. So I'm just going to say now, it's not going to happen. They need to go through open quals as well. Happy to be proven wrong, but don't think it's going to happen. And 5-2 as we're onto the ground floor again. Into the kitchen, this time though, Talon leading the defense. And Fnatic needing to solve that puzzle. Looking for drones, he is.
Yeah, he's on a bit of a hunt here, loose. I think one of the things about Fnatic's play there, they were held up for a minute by just the possibility of a run out. They were sort of thinking that they would get a free catch, and then at that point it becomes sunk cost fallacy. How much time do you throw towards the hope of a catch? Lily almost got in a straight engagement here. Canos was just pulling up the right part of the stairs for Canos.
Please barricade it off again.
It would be funny.
It would be funny. I mean, he did hear the rappel going up, I assume. That's why he's rotating back up the staircase now and feeling safe to put his back to it. But the drones are coming through, and that means the pressure will soon start to arise as well. It takes the gunfight, fights Choppy, and decides to just get out of there. Doesn't want to stick around. Doesn't even bother taking out that drone on the way out.
Stone Cold there knew that there was an expectation of a fight. He just sort of moved into it. He went, well, I'm going to take a gamble here. They're either going to be swinging behind it or there's going to be nobody there, and I'll take out the drone and get the free escape. He was gifted, and he did not look that gift in the mouth. Instantly took off. Headed all the way down, and there was nobody in a position here from the side of Fnatic to get a cost and a bite back into it. The early kill is once again into Talon's favor here. They've got themselves well structured. They're still sort of holding on. The pressure's coming against the top. The C4 gets the down onto Mag, but not quite the full finish.
No, will be picked up. Will be on 20 HP though, and that is going to be quite dangerous for him because he's opening up all these vertical holes, and if only they go for a bit of a challenge, a single bullet is enough to end the life of the Buck. And this provide a lot more safety. And due to the fact that Mag is this low on HP, he's probably will be left on the top floor as well to provide that security, whereas the rest of Fnatic is going to try and take it horizontally. And that also means that if one gunfight just goes the wrong way vertically, Mag is gone, your verticality is gone, suddenly Talon doesn't have to be afraid anymore. Lily taking a lot of damage trying to get rid of that barbed wire. Still a player right behind the Cupcake balcony. They're trying to get grenades in. ADSs are there, will be taken out. I think it's clear! He pops up, but it's the player from the wedding room that comes through Rama with an important kill.
Okay, one back, but 15 seconds and splintered health across all of the rest of them. They're going to take out a little bit, and the gridlock is the lot a bit at the end of that of the utility cost. Just saw the edge of a player. Chibisu dipped back for more. They've got themselves vertical control. Mag's able to get one kill out of it. The quick drop and the rotate round. They're looking for the planter. They're on the wrong corner. There's a great take, a 1 versus 1 post plant. They find it, damn it! Just gets the tail end with the kick of a gun that bucks harder than many others. Talon, cling on, match point.
This round was way closer in the end than it should have been, I think. Talon should have been able to lock this one off a little bit earlier as they moved through. But okay, they find it in the end. Fnatic unable to turn it back around and start closing the gap, and that means they are now match point against them. 4 of them in total. And Reading and Fireplace seems to be the site we're headed to next, as the other 2 sites we've just seen have been locked off. And can Fnatic find a round back? Stay alive. Because they need to win 4 in a row now if they want to be making it to... Oh, did he have that first one again? He hears a drone and decides to just go for the gunfight instead. There was a small bit of hesitation, wanted to go for the drone first, but then realized someone is swinging right behind it. Damn it, finding both kills with 1 mag. The last bullet as well, did you see that?
I mean...
Can we quickly replay that?
It couldn't have been more on the wire.
It was the last bullet off the SMG-11 that was happening on an actual click, because he stopped the spray, waited for the head to pop back up, and then just one-tapped it.
10 seconds left.
Of course, Shibisu was low on HP. Any other part of the body would have sufficed as well, but the headshot cleans it up truly.
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
6-2. Match point. For the top hat.
It started so aggressive. Throughout all of the first half, there was really a fight back and forth. As I said, all of the rounds are ending in these 1 versus 1s, and to be fair, so did that one. But Talon's consistency in getting that early pick has sort of led towards what I said at the beginning was it feels like that's going to be...
What is this, soldier? What are you doing with that shotgun? M110. I mean, I've said it about it before. That's not going to get... Look how much damage he did to Lily as well. It's like, how? How? He's all the way up top. It's 20 meters. There's no way you're allowed to do that much damage. I swear to I can be on 2 meters and I don't even kill someone with that shotgun.
That was like 10 shots. That was so unexpected. We're not in like year 1, year 2. We're not in a super 90 meta.
I was about to throw my bottle off the table as well.
No,
I saw
we're
that.
not back then.
Oh, yeah, I know back then.
When you'd have Frost and Valkyrie
sniping people across the map.
Sniping people across the map. That was unexpected.
Why?
I've entirely forgotten the point I was making.
Understandably so. I mean, that's kind of a throw-off when you have an M110 jumping out, shooting 20 meters in the air, almost getting a kill out of it as well. Again, I can shoot at someone on point-blank range and don't even kill them.
Yeah.
There's just something with APAC players being able to use this shotgun.
That, I mean, what do you...
I don't know what to say about it.
Okay, what we can say is how this might affect the rest of the round. 2 minutes roughly have gone, and they're starting to put some idea of the fight here across the top floor. But remember, you're still looking at a site that is on that middle. They have the man advantage. They need to try and force this vertical control, and all the smoke canisters are being utilized to stop it. Unfortunately, it doesn't stop that. There's a take round on the back. The C4 is prepped. The first one goes out, and does it go off?
Blow it up.
Blow it up.
That would have been a double kill.
Too late, too late. The players go past. They quickly flood their way in. Misa's going to go for a very long rotate, hoping they're unchecked all the way around on the side of red. Can hear the drone rolling past. It does not check them.
Ooh, cue the music.
Located by attackers.
Oh.
Pulls off.
Cancel the music.
Cancel the music.
Cancel the music,
Party's
pull
off.
it back because 30 seconds, and they're about to hit the site. Canos suffers next. Just playing himself around the bottom of the laundry hatch. You can see that Talon is trying to just find a wing to clip a catch on the side, the edges of this push. They don't think that they can get the force of the core of it. Fair enough, it's the danger point. But if you can take one of the loose threads out, well, it's not going to be like that. Reverse through the laundry hatch. The drop comes through onto the site itself. There's at least one on the back end. They're going for the retake flat across the top. They're inside laundry and now inside the site. You assume getting the plant down. There it is. Ramo on the far right. The retake over the vertical. They have one more that they need. There's a take over the top. The spray through. Can't quite get the full connection. And now in a post-plant game, they know roughly where the player is. They know he's on the top. Woohoo! Hell of a take. There's a second that comes through here. Misa, he's able to get 3 for the round. Goes for the drop instead. The fight inside the site, but they still had the lockdown. Fnatic, they find their first round in a while, and you can see that it came at the cost of stress.
It did. It definitely did. Good actual intel being given there because they expected him to push up to the top as soon as he dropped. That call came through either by a drone or a sound call that came. Well done. Instantly replied to, because that started to look quite scary as he fought back. 6-3. They basically need to be winning on every single bomb site that is being tossed at them by Talon. Again, we're starting off on that top floor. We've just been there, not due to it being the site, but due to it being vertically above it. As we quickly have Misa on the replay here. One. Knew about the second one being on that balcony. Just ducked around the shots going through. And then he knew he was going down. Again, either by drone or by sound call. Doesn't matter. The call came through and it lasted. So, 6-3. Fnatic need to win 3 more rounds. Talon will have every single site to their disposal in just a couple of, well, minutes, because this one just unlocked. After this, the basement will, or the ground floor will unlock again, and then everything, they can literally choose everything.
Or they'll have none of the sites at their disposal after a couple of minutes, because they'll win.
That could also be the case.
That's the other case. It's either all or nothing.
It is.
In terms of site selection, and in terms of the round right now for Fnatic. If they don't take everything ahead of them, then they get nothing out of this game. So the importance and the pressure is still on them. This hold, the big extension on Misa, prepped with a run out much earlier. In a weird way, this might cost them a little bit more, but Fnatic aren't even going to roll the dice with it.
Now Misa as well is just holding tight, he's listening. Patiently hoping that he hears a rappel sound, but it's not coming. And as the calls come through, like, hey, the hatches have been opened up, they are knocking onto the roof currently, looking to find an entry. The only player still close somewhat is Choppy. But he's on that balcony, on that, well, side roof. There's no way you're going to be able to catch him. Unless he hangs onto the rappel just a little bit too long, holding these windows. Now that might be an actual opportunity, especially if Lily gets onto a different one. That is going to be 2 potential kills for Misa.
Wow, there's Lily prepping some fight there. Canos is tucked. He has some shelter behind him on that his army, but if that gets broken, certainly he will be. Misa with a very wide run out, does a lot of scrap damage and gets himself back in. Choppy survives this time round, not the first early fight. Once again, Canos, are you looking for a route out of here, or are you just trying to tuck tail and get yourself a little bit safer? There's a dabble, there's a drone, and there's a reveal on the player. Remember, he was the first off the board before, and he is second time.
We needed to get out of there. Zofia just destroyed one of his Kibos. The second one was potentially going to fall right after as well, and that would have removed every single bit of cover. Soldier pops up, finds Choppy. Beautiful shot onto the rappel right there. Brings it back to a 4-4.
Choppy's had terrible luck throughout this game here. He keeps just finding himself on the bad end of a great pop-up from the guns of Talon. They don't even specifically know they're going for the take on him, but they expect to fight, and they're able to find it time and time again. Here, Ramu pushes in. Remember how long it took them to even put damage onto 90 before, and then ultimately they couldn't. This time, they've got this little bit of extra width and wiggle room. There's still some players and presence underneath here for the side of Talon, but Fnatic have a little bit more to work with. The fight on Lumber could be telling.
Oh, he hasn't seen the barrel sticking through. Definitely spots out the head now. Soldier knows Ramu is waiting near the pixel corner, and that means that he needs to pay attention to it. Breach is coming through. They want to get inside the little bathroom as Demek takes down Chibisu. That's going to be an important kill.
P9 here, the dog once again is in, causing problems with 1.5 across. Now, they've just tucked themselves in towards the vault. The core of this floor is currently theirs, 15 seconds, and with the swing up white stairs, oh, it's Mises to win, but Lily's there for the trade out. The pressure keeps on. They've got to keep trying to chug towards the site itself. 3 versus 1 now. Lily, all that's left. Heady's hit the ground, so has Fnatic, and that is a Talon 7-3.
They take the honor, they take the pride, the friendship, and the top hat. They will be finding themselves with 3 points here today. That on the standings will not be mattering too much, but at least it is, well, some form of progress throughout the year as well. Talon, they wanted to be getting into this year, potentially making it to a major or consistently the top 4. They might have lacked out here this time, but definitely have shown that they are capable of improving, and they definitely punished Fnatic for mistakes they've made here today.
Well, that is it for those two teams. Obviously, that is technically it that we have for now, apart from a quick break and a desk and one more play day of games. But the desk first.